Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Marlowe. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. I am the high school age group coordinator and director at Columbia Rush. I have been the coach of the 2009 and 2010 boys for the last several years, and I've worked with these guys as they've progressed through the high school ages. And this coming year, I'll be taking the lead with the U17 teams, which will be our oldest age group. So I'm recording this video because I've been helping out Coach Fahmy and working with the coaches of the what have been, I guess, 2012 and 2013 boys from the past seasons who have been in middle school. And I've been working with everyone as we sort of blend our players in new configurations with the age group change that will be beginning this coming season as we transition out of the calendar year age groups and into more like school year age groups. And so we're doing things as we feel is really best on a year by year basis and trying to have some consistency where it makes sense from our teams that have been previously formed into the new age groups. And I wanted to just record a quick video for especially this what's going to be what's going to be a blended U15 U16 group. I've been helping Coach Fahmy with this because I've been in the high school groups. This group is aging up into high school. There will be a few boys that have finished their freshman year that'll be part of this group, as well as boys that are rising freshmen. And Coach Fahmy will be out of the country a lot over this summer, and so he asked me to help out and help ensure that we have a great group and that we're answering questions that parents may have and making sure that that basically everyone has the information they need moving forward. And it is a little bit different going into the high school groups. So please do feel free to reach out to me if you have questions. I want to just address a couple things that I would have liked to have shared had we been able to have a parent meeting, but the weather kind of conspired against us during the tryout yesterday. So I thought I'd record something real quick and send it out to the parents. I have made a number of offer letters based on the brief look that we did get for players who attended the tryouts. It was brief, but I got information that was useful for me. And then we know who is returning. And so, of course, we've evaluated these players over the whole year. And I spoke with Coach Fahmy, Coach Aziz, and Coach Anthony last night as we put together our plans for the rosters for this coming season. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on a few details. I as I indicated, it's probably most accurate, although this wasn't in the offer letter, but it's probably most accurate to call this team a U15, U16 team. It will compete in the U16 age group because you have to compete at the age of the oldest player on your team. In putting the teams together, here we have looked at the level of our players, the individual level of the players, the level of the group, our numbers coming from different teams, and those numbers as they are with the age group change. So as I indicated just a moment ago, this group is going to be a blend of my 2010 players with the older 2011 players, and that is the new U16 age group. In addition, though, we have the consideration that there was this group of 2011 blue players who we felt it would be good to keep many of these players together. So in a handful of cases, we have made offers to uh, uh, players who could potentially play U15. We've made offers to them to play U16 for this coming year. So I wanted to just address that. Yeah, so just to be transparent, I've made at this point a total of 20 offers. Four of the young 2010 players who worked with me, one older 2011 player who worked with me over the past year, a new young 2010 player, and then I believe, and I don't have all the access to the old 360 information, but I think it's about 14 players who are returning 2011s. And so we have good numbers here, and we think this will be a great group. Um, and so, yes, I hope that helps clarify any questions that you might have about the formation of this age group. Feel free to reach out if you do have any questions. Since we were unable to have really a parent/player meeting with a lot of players yesterday, I did think it would be appropriate to just comment on a couple other things that have been my experience going into the high school age group. I know some of the players will be new into high school soccer. So there are a couple things that change. Of course, we don't have a fall season now. So the fall season is the high school season. So for nearly all of our players, we're expecting that those players will be playing with their high school and connected to that. We really strongly encourage the players, if they're not already doing it, to start attending the high school workouts for their high school teams. So they really should attend every training in the gym, every run, every open field. And the players, because they're going to be blended with, they're going to be mixing in with older players who are a little bit more physically developed and so on. And so I really strongly encourage, this is where the players can really take ownership of their development, their commitment to getting fit, their commitment to getting stronger, their commitment to becoming more mobile and injury resilient. And they can take matters into their hands for this. So it's a little bit awkward, really, for us as coaches in the high school age groups, because we have this tryout now, which is in early June. But really, we're handing off the players now to go work with their high school teams, to do the summer training with their high school teams. And then, in addition, they should also be training on their own during the summer, preparing for their tryouts and getting their touch as good as they can do as they can, and so on, and being really preparing themselves to compete at a good level in high school. So they'll be with their high school team. The high school teams train, virtually daily. It's a different intensity level compared to what they've often had in club. And what happens in this period, for those who haven't seen it already, you get guys that are now training like, or on the ball like every day, and some guys really just get into it. And some may not really have club soccer experience before, and um, others may lose interest for one reason or another. So it's kind of a dynamic thing that happens. It's a bit independent of what's happening with the club, and we can't, as club, the club can't really do much while the players are with their high school teams. When the high school season ends, we'll resume training, and this is a little bit different from the middle school years, where you train with your club team during the fall season. When you have your last tournament, there's a bit of a break, and then you get into a little bit of winter off season before the spring season begins. But for the high school age groups, the way we're doing it is basically we want to reconvene with the players shortly after, pretty much as soon as their high school seasons end. If you're on the C team, that could be the end of uh, uh, that could be even the end of October. We will probably give those guys, a couple weeks, and then as JV players, and at least a week or two, and then as the JV players and varsity players, as their seasons end, with their districts or state tournaments ending, then we'll resume. So for my groups, we started training in November. Last year we had outdoor space at Hickman, on the lower field there, and we started training in November. We did that outside in November and December, and then we went inside in January and February, and then came back out toward the end of February when our spring season began. So the for this year, the club is including that preseason training with the club as part of our seasonal program. I mentioned that in the offer letter. If you do have questions about that, feel free to let me know, and I'd be happy to address it. But I did want to point out now why that is included, and that's an important part, we feel, for the spring season, that we get a chance in November, December, January, February to see where the players are after their fall season with their high school, see where they are. Have they just skyrocketed ahead in their development? Have they stagnated some, and then also, are there new players that are interested in playing with us now that the fall high school season is over? And that's something that surprised me over the last couple of years. We had a lot of players come out for our team, and they got excited because of what they had heard from their friends who were playing with us. So we got quite a number of players this past year, the past 2 years, but especially this past year, we had a number of players who came out and joined our off-season training and then continued with us into the spring. So our numbers grew some, and as my groups went into the spring, we made some little adjustments to the configuration of the rosters. I actually ended up adding a team this past year, so that we were able to compete and include everybody at the appropriate levels. We're not we never plan to add teams or make big adjustments as the season, as we go from now to the spring season. We've made the teams now so that everyone can be confident that they have a good place to play, a good group of players to work with. But I do want to just basically share with players and parents who are new to the high school age groups that there are some changes that happen in these years. And as coaches, we of course, if new great players go onto our radar, we do want to be able to fold them in as appropriate and do what's best for our teams, our players, and the club. So there's a little bit of once you get into the high school academy, there's a little bit of recalibration that happens after the high school season, though we are, making the teams now, assuring players that they have a place in the academy going into the as they enter the summer and enter their fall high school seasons. So for me, it's always really interesting to try to track the players, go see some of their games at the high school, and see how they're doing, and then see where they are when they come back to us. And also, I like to hear, like, after players have played with us in the club team throughout the club season, then what's the feedback? What's the reaction of the coaches when they've seen the development of the players through from what the club offers them? So let me end there, and just again let you know that if you do have questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'll have contacted all of you via email, so you have my my Rush email address. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you. We're looking forward to having a great season, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.